Big focus during bye week and try to improve?
The number one thing I think for the team is we got to get everybody healthy. It's a time that we can get some of the guys that played a lot of snaps, some rest, some rehabilitation, and develop some of the young guys. I think for us offensively, from a schematic standpoint, cleaning up a lot of the little things that I think have gotten in our way, prevented us from really achieving all of the goals that we set forward to do.
How's Gio been this week after the game? And
Gio's been great. Gio's been awesome. He's come in a bunch of times, A, to take care of his body, but two, he's come in by himself just to talk about the game, talk about his performance, what he needs to do this week and this next week to go give us the best chance to beat Indiana. He's been great.
Are you able to do everything you want with him? I know he's got the injury.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, we got to manage him. There's no reason to go ahead and stretch him out right now, and see, So we've been particular about getting his reps and what reps those might be.
What kind of progress have you seen from him just handling all the first team reps? Because there's a big difference between doing the backup stuff and at repetitions.
He's been really good in terms of being receptive to the, you coach the starter, the guy that's going to be out there for you a little bit differently than you do the backup, just because they're going to get more reps in the development, especially for a young guy starting. You got to push him a little bit. So he's been awesome. He's grown up a lot in the fact of what's expected from the starter versus from a guy that is fighting for that job. So he's been really, really good in his development, I think, over the last 2 weeks, really.
What's the backup competition been like with the rest of the guys?
I would say the word pretty intense would be the word that I use. Those guys, all of them want to play. They're all, to their credit, they're a pretty tight-knit unit, and they compete, I think, at a very high level as well. So they all want to play, but they all have a lot of respect for each other. And there's only so many there's limited reps out there in practice, and so to go out there and get your reps and to prove that, hey, I could also be the guy, you got to go out there when it's your time with the twos or threes, okay, and make something happen. So I would say pretty intense.
So are you seeing the same intensity from Chris Laviano now than when he's competing for the starting? Is the same thing with the backups?
Absolutely. He came out here and just had a heck of a 2-minute drive just a little bit ago, threw a touchdown to win the 2-minute drive. So credit to him. He's been awesome in the meeting room, in supporting of Gio, and supporting some of the other guys. The newer guys, Zach and Tylen. He's been great. And he came out here and he's competed his tail off.
Are you pleased? Not pleased? How do your level of with the running game? Rushing attack overall?
The running game has been there at times, but I think that it could be better if we could have done some better things, I think, in the throw game. If the throw game had improved, you obviously want balance. You want to be able to, and balance. What is balanced football? Balance isn't necessarily run-pass ratios. It can be that, but can you win? Can you beat a team throwing the ball? Can you beat a team running the ball, given what they're going to do to you defensively? So I think if we had a little bit more balance in this past game, and thus we had a lot more production. So I think we're going to continue pushing that aspect from ours. But the running game has been obviously a lot better than the past.
Was there a point, when I think we saw him in training camp in that open practice, that first scrimmage, where he threw a big bomb touchdoad, and I think he ran for a touchdown. But what was the point where you saw Gio and you said, you know what, this kid might actually be a starter?
Well, to be honest with you, we had talked about it. Me and Coach Ash, we had talked about it earlier. I'm like, he can, this guy, he's got some things to him. He wasn't polished yet, by any stretch of the imagination. He still isn't all the way there yet now. But he's in a. We asked him to go down there for a scout session. They needed a guy that could run around a little bit, and I said, hey, I need you to go down there for a period, okay, and do whatever they ask you to do, because I don't know what the other offense is doing. And so he runs down there, does a heck of a job. Coach Ash was like, hey, what do you think about this guy moving around? This is really like the first time I've gotten a great, glimpse into what this guy can really do. All of our reps have been spread out over these quarterbacks. What do you think about this guy? And it was like, he's a conscientious kid. He's a smart kid. And they said, let's work him into some things and see what else he can do. And he came in at halftime of that Illinois game, and he's kind of run with it since. So, I think we'd seen things from him previously, but I don't know that he had the reps or the experience yet to really kind of totally experience or fulfill all of his potential yet. And he's not necessarily reached that either. But I think it's probably at that moment. I think that Coach Ash was like, hey, this guy's got a chance, and came in. He's done a nice job.
Thanks, Coach.